Good evening from Washington. I'm Larry O'Connor. It's O'Connor Tonight on Salem News Channel. And I say we're Salem News Channel because, well, we're about to play a clip from Fox News Channel. Now, we're not in the habit of that. Listen, Fox does their thing. We do our thing. But the fact of the matter is, because Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, has handed over 40,000 hours of security footage from the cameras on the Capitol for January 6th to one program on Fox News Channel, well, we're compelled to comment on it through the lens of Tucker Carlson's program on Fox News. And we like Tucker Carlson personally, as well as liking his show quite a bit. He does a good job over there, and I hope he thinks we're doing a pretty good job over here. But the reaction to Tucker Carlson merely letting you see more of the January 6th picture than Democrats and Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney wanted you to see, well, that reaction is very newsworthy. And that's what we're going to comment on here, the reaction to what Tucker Carlson has shown you. You see, you haven't gotten the full story. You know that already, right? You've seen endless video of what happened on January 6th on a loop almost through the January 6th committee hearings. And from the mainstream media, other cable networks, they've shown you exactly, well, what they wanted to show you. And that was violence. And it was a violent day. It was a riot. No two ways about it. It wasn't an insurrection. It wasn't worse than the Civil War. It wasn't worse than 9/11. It wasn't something to stop operations in the Capitol for a full 2 years so Liz Cheney can exercise her demons about the man with orange hair who called her dad names. No, it's not that, but it was bad. Sure, it was bad. But you weren't given the whole story. And thanks to Speaker McCarthy handing over 40,000 hours of video to Tucker Carlson, now you're starting to see some more of the story. And I think that of all of Tucker's work here, the story of the shaman, the January 6th shaman, I think it's the best story of all. His guy, he's the one with the buffalo horn headdress and the bare chest and the face paint. He looks like he's going to a Bills game, right? The Bills are in the playoffs. Let's go. Come on, grab some beers in your koozie and we're going to watch some football. But instead, he was going and standing on the well of the Senate and sitting in the president of the Senate's chair and, drawing attention to himself, which is really all he intended to do. But he became the face of the insurrection. He became the icon. He became the picture that represented everything that was wrong with January 6th and Donald Trump. And boy, was he punished. He agreed to a plea deal under duress, we're told, for 4 years in prison. So, what did he do? What did he actually do that day that brought on one of the stiffest penalties of anyone arrested for the events of January 6th? Well, we'll let Tucker Carlson take it from here. Here was his report.
Dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us into the building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th.
Wow. So for almost 2 years, you've seen this primetime January 6th hearing where they showed us a whole lot of videos that they cherry-picked and they chose to show you, to tell you their story and their narrative. Why didn't you ever see that? Why didn't they show you that? Because it certainly does tell a little bit of a different story. Now, Tucker Carlson's being accused of whitewashing what really happened on January 6th and lying to people by just showing them the truth, showing them the video. Now, that's not the entirety of the story of January 6th, certainly, but it sure is a big part of the story, especially with this guy, a guy who's gotten one of the toughest penalties of everyone arrested. So what was Chuck Schumer's response? Well, here's what he had to say.
These lies continue tonight. Rupert Murdoch, who has admitted they were lies and said he regretted it, has a special obligation to stop Tucker Carlson from going on tonight now that he's seen how he has perverted and slimed the truth.
Perverted and slimed
and
the
from
truth.
letting him go on.
Lies, lies. Did you notice what he doesn't say? He doesn't say what the lie is. And by the way, where are all the calls from First Amendment rights advocates and representatives of reporters and the press saying this is a dark, dark day for freedom of the press? This is a dark day when the most powerful Democrat in the Senate calls for the owner of a network to rip a television show off the air. That's censorship. The government official calling for censorship. That's kind of a chilling effect on the First Amendment. Where's Jim Acosta upset about this? Nowhere to be seen. Thankfully, though, of course, the Republicans had their response. Mitch McConnell, what do you have to say, sir?
It was a mistake, in my view, for Fox News to depict this in a way that's completely at variance with what our chief law enforcement official here at the Capitol thinks.
Wow. Yeah, so Fox News shouldn't have put this out there because it contradicts what the government official said happened. Thanks, Mitch. Johnny on the spot there with the resistance. Now, see, Mitch McConnell also doesn't want you to know the truth because Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer and all the Democrats in this country, most of the people in the media, they do have one thing in common. None of them like Donald Trump. And the more they can say that the atrocity of January 6th is the worst thing since 9/11 and the Civil War, and Donald Trump is responsible, well, it makes their job a little bit easier. And as soon as you start to show something else, a different version of what happened on that day, well, it undermines all of their efforts. And it actually shows that they're the ones who haven't been telling you the truth. But notice how they all said the same thing. These are lies, these are lies, these are lies. But they didn't do something critically important. They didn't do this. They didn't say, oh, that video of the buffalo hat guy getting escorted by cops and no one was touching him, no one was arresting him, no one was stopping him. They actually were trying the doors and they unlocked it to let him in. Yeah, there's a very reasonable explanation for that. They never did that, did they? They never ever did that. Why not? Meanwhile, can I go back? We want to look at this Mitch McConnell video one more time because there's something you need to see here. Watch right over his shoulder. Take a look.
It was a mistake, in my view, for...
See that woman right there looking very uncomfortable? That's Senator Joni Ernst of Iowa. She's part of leadership now, so it's her job to stand there and support the minority leader, Joni Ernst. I remember watching this video this morning and thinking to myself, boy, she doesn't look very happy to be there. In fact, I thought Joni Ernst was not really part of the Mitch McConnell gang. Well, Joni Ernst was stopped outside of the Senate today by reporter Josh Kraushaar and asked about this. Joni Ernst just defied Mitch McConnell and said on the record that all of these tapes, all the videos from January 6th should be widely available for the media to look at. Thank you, Senator Ernst. You should have said it just now while Mitch McConnell was speaking. More to come on O'Connor Tonight.